Welcome back. Well, today I'm going to have to suspend gun activities because snow waits for no man, and I understand that despite these beautiful cloudless skies that we have today, there's a breeze that's coming in from the north, and I understand that we may even get some snow later tonight. So how much we just don't know in this neck of the woods. Literally, we could get, suddenly we just get 6 to 12 inches or more. So I've got to attend to the important business of getting my tractor ready for that by taking my mower deck off the underside and mounting the snow blower. So I've got, for my Kubota fans, and for those who someday wish to be a Kubota fan, I'll show you how this operation is done. It's very simple. It's very, very simple, and it'll get me prepared for the next few months of this horror show that we can possibly expect. So let's take a look. Good boy. You gonna help today? You gonna help today, huh? As you can see, Benny's doing really wonderful. Now the mower deck is connected by a front attachment and also the cradle arms, that hydraulic cradle that pulls it up and down. So to detach the front end attachment is very simple. You just grasp this spring-loaded release lever and let her drop. Now, I strongly recommend that you take a picture of how this bar attaches to the tractor, because I can guarantee you that a few months from now, when you go to put it back on, you're going to be staring at it and wondering exactly how it goes, because there are different holes on the front end here, and it's a little bit of a mystery if you don't have some recollection of how it went. Now it's a two-part system. This here is the part that retains the attachment part. So now that we've got that disconnected, we'll undo the hydraulics. Now it's a very good idea to get as much clearance as you can to slide the mower deck out from underneath. This deck weighs, the 60-inch deck weighs 250 pounds. So what you want to do is raise these wheels to one of the lowest positions so that you'll get that clearance. Now in this next step, it requires that we disconnect these spring-loaded that's the disconnection completely done, except for just the drivetrain. So there's the center mounted drive shaft, and that comes off the midpoint PTO, which is located here. So what I've got to do is just grasp that large collar, that spring-loaded collar, and simply pull it, and that'll come free. But that's easier said than done. There's a little trick here. If you just let the mower deck roll forward, the drive shaft will disconnect at the spline, and you can take the deck out from underneath and then have plenty of room to uncouple the PTO. Okay, this part is not as difficult as it looks. It's 250 pounds, but it slides sideways on these wheels. Now I've tried turning the wheels so that they're perpendicular to the tractor, and it may give it a little bit easier time, but it's not worth the hassle for me. Now if you're a person of limited strength, you know, you can just simply you could tie this off to a come-along and pull it out. But it slides out pretty easily. Just watch for your tires. And make sure you have plenty of swinging room. Think about dragging a deer out of the woods. And that's all there is to it. So we've got the mower completely undone. I just want to remember to take off the coupling off that PTO. And that's the rear end of the drive shaft. Now about this PTO coupling, this is a spring-loaded collar right here. When you pull this back, it stays in place, and you'll see inside, if you can, there's a ball detent that will engage the PTO shaft. Now this is not keyed. It can go on the spline at any position. However, this end here that attaches to the mower deck side of the drive shaft, the propeller shaft, this definitely is keyed, and it's identified pretty simply. You'll notice that there's one large groove right here. Apart from all the others, there's one large groove that's about double the width, and that mates up with this spot weld right here. So you line up that spot weld with the wide groove, and it'll slide right together. It's a good time to put a little bit of grease, replace the grease on this spline so that they can slide easily. I'm just going to take this axe handle and place it right there by that wheel. And now I should be able to spin this right around very easily. That's all there is to it. I can only give my highest praise for this Kubota BX 5450. It's a 50-inch wide snow blower that really gobbles up any kind of snow. I mean, absolutely saturated with water, and it just flies out. I do recommend strongly that the bird cage, the hand guard really has to be removed from the chute. All that's going to do is just prevent snow from flying out, and it's going to immediately seize it up with the slightest amount of moisture in the snow. So you just have to use your own common sense and never stick your arm down in there, because you will lose it. So let's just take a look at some of the features before we begin. There's the impeller shaft right here, and bring it in a little closer. You'll notice now that this is setting up level. Right now it's being propped up on this. This is only a temporary prop, and we'll use that to guide the shaft in as we set it up, but that has to be dropped down. So when I bring it to that point, you'll understand what I'm driving at. And this is the receiver right here. This receiver will couple with the hydraulic front mount that goes to the tractor. So here's your drive propeller shaft, and here's the coupling that goes to the PTO, the center mounted PTO, or the midpoint PTO. And this is a good time to make sure that you grease your U-joints. Make sure they're greased up with the wrencher. And also at this end you have another U-joint. And here's your spline shaft. That can be greased up right here. Now my personal preference is to have this middle drive shaft coupled with the hydraulic lift assembly before trying to mate it to the snowblower. And I want to bring to your attention the fact that this coupling right here, this male shaft, is rectangular and not square. So don't try to just position it unless you make sure that you have it correctly aligned. So this here has a simple coupling like this, and we're just going to mount that onto the front end of the shaft. What we want to do first is mount this hydraulic lift unit. Now make sure that you unwind these T-bolts sufficiently so that these wedges can drop down on top of the frame. Make sure that both sides of the hydraulic unit are going to go between the frame members right here. Now let your knees, your elbows rest on your knees as you use your legs to lift it rather than lifting it with your back. Just drop it down on top. Keep your fingers free. And now we want to engage the pins down below, and they're self-explanatory. There's a large pin, and then there's a smaller pin, and then use the clevis pins to secure them. And that's all there is to it. Now we tighten these up. Now after you run this for a first few minutes, check these bolts and make sure to retighten them. You don't have to go crazy. It's all done by geometrics. It holds it in place by just wedging those pins firmly into place. Now, just as I did with the other shaft with the mower, and slide it on, and then go to the back and put it on the PTO. Now, because that spline slides fore and aft back at the front, all I have to do is just bring this onto the PTO, pull the coupling sleeve back, and slide it on until I hear that. Now, it's a very good idea to position this receiver in an elevated position like that. So block it up with anything to allow that, and clean out your receiver. Make sure that there's no dirt that'll impede it sliding in easily enough. Now position this and take note of the direction that your shaft is positioned. Right now this rectangle is positioned at about 1 o'clock, so I want to make sure that my male shaft is also doing likewise. Now route your hydraulic through the support on the tractor, and then be sure to identify your correct hoses and make sure that they go to the correct counterparts on the tractor. I've color keyed these with yellow and white wire so that I know immediately which one goes to which. This provides your lift and lowering capability for Now we want to connect those shafts. This is sometimes a good time to have an assistant that can guide that male and female shaft together. I've lifted it up to allow gravity to help me to slide it back all the way onto that shaft. Now once you've got your receiver fully engaged, this handle right here will engage a claw in the front that will pull that tight and hook together, and you can see how that pulled the receiver right into position. Now there's a locking ring that you want to put around here at this position here to retain that so that that doesn't come loose on you. We'll do that in a moment. Make sure that that support, that temporary support, is out of the way. There we go. Now it's locked in place and nothing can come loose. We just need to attach the auger handle. If you don't have the automated electric or hydraulic one, pass the male portion of your handle through the support, and I like to keep it so that I have plenty of clearance with my hydraulic lift arm and just find the appropriate hole to secure it with. I see one right there, so I'll bring it down. There we go. Now here's one final tip. I've seen some people have difficulty negotiating terrain and obstacles with their front end loader and also with the snow blower and any kind of front end implement. They're apparently not aware that their hydraulics has a click detent, the float position. That float position will allow any implement mounted on the front to glide over the terrain, including your snow blower, so that it doesn't jam into the pavement and lift up your front end and basically lift your front end drive tires off the ground and kill your steering. So make sure you take advantage of that, and always when you're snow blowing, use the click detent position. Never snow blow without being in that position. Then you can lift it up for turning around and things like that, but when you're going forward and you're plowing or getting rid of snow, whatever it is that you have mounted on there, lift that handle up. That's all there is to it. It's a fairly simple, straightforward procedure. This machine now, I've had this snow blower into this is its 5th season. It's given me very, very good service. I'm just going to lube it up a little bit so that it's ready to go. And hopefully we don't get too much snow tonight, but we're ready for it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And by the way, Benny's doing just fabulous. He's just doing wonderfully. Thanks for watching, and God bless. Hit my boy. Come on. Yeah, boy. What do you want to do now? Say hi to everybody.